Hello and welcome to Rathods IS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 26 November 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. So what is the specialty of this 26th November? Constitution Day. So what happened on this Constitution Day? We adopted our constitution. So where this line had been written in our constitution, we adopted our constitution on 26 November? Preamble. So actually this year preamble is very important for your prelims and mains, and for sure you will be getting question on preamble for sure. Okay, and even you have to know what is written in your preamble, and you have to know like which words had been added through this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, because most of our today's newspaper is based on this Constitution Day itself. Okay, now let us see the first article. Okay, see this title guys. After climate talks, nations gather to iron out a treaty to curb plastics. So what is this article is talking about? After meeting, after climate talks, nations gather to iron out a treaty to curb plastic. So what is this article is about? COP29 is done. Okay, to reduce plastic pollution, we need a treaty. Okay, do we have any treaty regarding plastic pollution as of now? Single-use plastic, elimination of single-use plastic is there, that is for India. But is there any international treaty to curb plastic pollution? Think. Have you come across this treaty in your environment and ecology anywhere, accidentally? No? Okay, so here this article is saying that COP29 had been done. So after this COP29, now 175 countries they met at a place and they are talking for a plastic pollution treaty. To stop plastic pollution, we need to have a treaty, and this treaty should be legally binding. So what is the meaning of legally binding? They have to follow it compulsorily, right? Mandatory, they have to follow. So here after this COP29, now around 175 countries they met at a place and they want to come up with the curbing of plastic pollution. That too they want to come up with an international treaty that should be legally binding. So here what are the keywords that you have to see guys? Plastic pollution. Okay. So regarding plastic and types of plastic, many a times the question asked in your UPSC prelims. Okay. So here exactly you have to know about different kinds of plastic or types of plastic, and you have to know what is this plastic pollution, PP, and you have to see what are the causes of plastic pollution, and you have to see what is the impact. So tell me what happens because of plastic pollution. What is the impact? What is the impact of plastic pollution guys? Okay, decreasing of soil fertility. Next, decreasing of soil fertility. Next, only soil fertility is affected. So what about this microplastics? So whenever we are throwing plastic here and there, so it will be degraded and it forms microplastics. So even recently, some evidence says that even in our human blood, we have evidence of microplastic. And next, when we are throwing plastic in the water, what happens? Yes, bioaccumulation, very good. Next. So do you know about this Pacific garbage patch? So what is this Pacific garbage patch and how it formed? So whenever plastic is entering into the ocean, as you all know that in oceans we have ocean currents. That means water will be moving in a certain direction. So in every ocean, for example, if you take Pacific Ocean, if you take Atlantic Ocean, that is North Atlantic Ocean and South Atlantic Ocean, in between we have gyre. Yes or no? North Atlantic gyre, South Atlantic gyre, Pacific gyre, like that. So around this what happened, there is a movement of ocean water in the form of currents. In between we will be having the standstill. So whenever the plastic is accumulated in this water or oceans. So because of this movement of this oceanic water currents, so Pacific, in this area, plastic will be accumulated. That is called as a Pacific patch. And we are having a very huge Pacific garbage patch. Okay, and not only in Pacific Ocean, even in Indian Ocean also we have this garbage patch, plastic garbage patch. Okay, so next tell me about other impacts of this plastic pollution. Okay, health issues. And what about this biodiversity, guys? So have you seen the stray cows or stray buffaloes or any stray animals, cattle, stray cattle? So they are also feeding on plastic. Will you agree with me? So what happens because of this feeding on this plastic? Will it digest it? No. And then obviously what happens? It will be got accumulated in the intestines. That will be affecting especially reproductive capacity of that animal and as well as digestive system of that animal. So in this way, it is also harming the biodiversity which is present. So in our nook and corner in the world, we have this problem of plastic pollution, and now all countries, they have to take this step. So because of this, even after this COP29, about 175 countries, they gathered at a place, and they are talking about this agreement on plastic pollution, and that too legally binding. They have to follow the provisions of this treaty if it had been signed. Okay, so this problem is very, very huge. So that now we need to take some urgent steps. So from which subject we can deal with this? GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Next, and under this, in which area exactly we have to focus? Like in which dimension, in which chapter of your environment and ecology? So in your environment and ecology, you will be talking about different conventions, like conventions against mercury, convention against this ozone depletion, like that. So we are going to have a treaty which is especially related to this plastic pollution curbing. So from conventions you have to see, and next one here is you have to see from biodiversity point of view, and even you will be having a separate chapter called as pollution, right? So in that pollution also you can add this. And from GS paper 2 under international relations, you can talk about again cooperation between the countries to address this threat of plastic pollution, because it is also one of the global concern of each and every country in the world. Okay, clear? Now let us see what this article is saying clearly. So after the recent climate conference, that is COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, now delegates of 175 nations, that is 175 countries, they had gathered in Busan. So see, where is this Busan located? In which country? Okay, so here you can get a question regarding match the following. Capital city and country. Here, you know, Baku is in Azerbaijan. It is very important because COP29. Okay, Busan. What? South Korea. Okay, you can get this because after, as soon as this COP29 is concluded, so we had the meeting at this Busan. So Busan in which country? And they may give one more capital city and one more country where recent conference had been done. For example, recently SCO done, recently G20 done. So they may give in that way. Okay, so you have to know about the place which is there in news, especially when we have this kind of conventional agreements. Clear? Okay, in Busan, they met together and they want to come up with new United Nations treaty. And this treaty will be focusing on curbing of plastic pollution. Okay, and actually this is like 5th round of discussions regarding legally binding agreement to tackle plastic production as well as plastic waste. And actually here we need to take some urgent steps to control this. Okay, yeah, see the key points that you have to remember. The first one is around 175 countries they gathered at this Busan. That means we can understand that every country, especially whichever the countries are having this problem of plastic pollution, they are very strong. They want to take more steps to combat this plastic pollution. That means it is reflecting the growth of recognition of environmental impact now. And next one here is, unlike 20 years taken for the climate agreements, but we need to finalize this plastic agreement within 5 meetings. That means here we want to focus on the quicker and as well as decisive action in environmental policy making. So we understand like what will be the problem if you're not going to steps immediately. Regarding this climate agreements, it had been from 21 years we are trying to come up with the agreements. But even though developing countries like India, they didn't satisfied with this COP29 which had been happened, right? So here regarding this plastic pollution, we are having a very fast shift. And next one here is this treaty. It is mainly focusing on United Nations mediation. It is focusing on especially multilateral cooperation in addressing global challenges like plastic waste. And next one here is, so this agreement will be a legally binding. That means whenever any country which is signing this agreement, now that country is accountable regarding what steps they are taking. If they are taking steps, it is good enough. If they are not taking, they have to accountable. They have to, what is the meaning of accountability? Answerability plus enforceability. So now the countries are, whenever they are signing this agreement, they have to answer like what are the steps taken, what is the impact of that regarding plastic production, waste management, etc. So what is this waste management is about? We have wastewater management, we have solid waste management. So which is a problem in India? Solid waste management, right? So what is the impact of this no proper solid waste management in Delhi recently? We are not going for proper solid waste management in Delhi. Because of that, that created havoc in Delhi. What happened in Delhi? What happened at these dumping sites? Yes, fire. Why fire? Because of which gas? Fire because of which gas? Methane. So what happens? So whenever the decomposition of the solid waste is happening, it will be releasing more amount of methane. So because of already heat waves, because of increasing of heat and increasing of methane in this dumping sites, that led to the fires. Okay. And next one here is, they're also planning for the periodic meetings and conferences especially, so that it will be showing like long-term commitment to address this plastic pollution, and they want to come up with adaptation of strategies as needed according to the problem. And next one is, if you see the historical context, so if you take the reference of this Paris Agreement, so what does this Paris Agreement said about? 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees centigrade of decreasing of temperature. What is the reference here? In 2015 we came up with that. That is pre-industrial revolution, that is around 1990s. Okay, so actually did we reach this Paris Agreement or Paris Climate Deal goal? No, right? So actually here it is said that not like that, we have to stand on the commitment so that we can reach our goal of curbing of pollution. And next one here is, they also said that this treaty is also aiming to mitigate the effects on ecosystem, effects on wildlife and even human health. That means if you see this plastic pollution, so plastic pollution is an interconnected environmental issue. It is not only causing harm to the soil, water or anything, even it is also having impact on biodiversity, wildlife, everything. So we have to address this problem as soon as possible. It is about plastic treaty. If it is finalized, we will be getting what are the provisions of this and what are the steps to be taken by each and every country to curb this plastic pollution. Okay. Yeah, see this article. Secular, socialist are an inalienable part of constitution to stay in preamble, ordered Supreme Court. What are the keywords? Secular, socialist. What is the meaning of secular? Okay, I want to ask one question. So whether these words secular, socialist are there in our original preamble? No. Yes, no? No. It had been added by which Constitution Amendment Act? 42nd Amendment Act. What is the year of 42nd Amendment Act? 1976. Okay, so why these words had been added? What is the necessity of adding something later on? Why we will be doing amendments and adding something? What is the need of that? What is the need of adding this? Okay, what is the status of our preamble before this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act? What are the words were there? Sovereign Democratic Republic. That was question 2021 prelims. Okay, later on we added this word secular, socialist, and one more word integrity. Socialist, secular, integrity are the words added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now my question is why we added that? What is the need of adding? Am I making any sense? Are you getting my question? Okay, what is the need here? So before that we had one status. Again, why we added these three words? What is it necessary? What happened in 1971? Okay, government is interrupting so that secular. What about socialist then? Okay, what is the meaning of socialist first? Tell me. Huh? Don't murmur, say loudly. Okay, state will be taking care of welfare of people. I want some more thing important. No private economy. Okay, next. What is the meaning of secularism of India? Secular means all religions are equal. Okay, so why we added then? Why? Why our constitution is a living document or not? Yes, why we are calling our constitution as a living document? Okay, so based on the needs and aspiration of people, we have to make it, right? So for that, our constitution is neither flexible nor rigid. It is a combination of both. That means we can add something by making some amendments to the constitution. To the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, we added three words: secular, socialist, and integrity. So now what happened today is Constitution Day. Okay, so tell me, what are the principles of our preamble? Four things will be there in our preamble. What are those four things? I don't want that thing. First one is the authority. Authority is the people of India. And next one is date of adoption. And what are the other two? Objectives, very good. Next. Nature of our constitution. Okay. So here we can connect this topic to our preamble of constitution. So from last, if you see like 7 to 10 years, more than 5 times the question came directly from preamble. And this year, you can expect 100% question on this preamble. Okay, so preamble can be studied under which subject? Polity. Okay, so what you have to see from this topic, from which area you will be getting question in preamble? So you have to see about amendments. Okay, next. Next area. You have to know about keywords. So what are the keywords which are there in your preamble? Justice, sovereignty, secular, socialist, republic. What is the meaning of republic? Head of the state? Okay, head of the state is elected. We don't have any monarchy. Okay, next. You have to know about the keywords and you have to know the examples of that keywords. And next one is you have to see principles of our preamble. Principles. Okay, next, can we amend this constitution? Sorry, can we amend this preamble? Yes or no? Can we amend? Then how we added these three then? Okay, we can amend preamble. So in which case Supreme Court said this? What is full name? Year and date. 24th? Yes, you have to remember that date for sure. So Keshwanand Bharati case, Date is 24th April 1973. Said that yes, we can amend preamble but not basic structure. So here you have to remember the cases related to this preamble. Okay, so these are the some dimensions that you have to see. So open your Lakshmikant and see this topic for sure. Each and every nook and corner of this preamble is important this year. Okay, so here Supreme Court of India upheld that inclusion of these words like secular and socialist in the Constitution's preamble is right. It is integral to the republic. Republic means we are having a head which is elected by the people. And the court dismissed the petition which are challenging their validity. There are some petitions which are filed in the court that why these words had been added like secular and socialist. And finally these petitions had been dismissed by Supreme Court now. Okay, now let us see the key points that you have to remember. The first one is the Supreme Court ruling which mainly says about interpreting of constitution. And it is saying that judicial authority over legislative debates. And actually it is saying that it is very, very important that if there are any debates which are happening between legislature and as well as executive, so we have one more organ of the state which will be saying whether it is according to the constitution or not. Okay, so this judgment which is saying about the importance of judicial review. So what is the meaning of judicial review? Judicial review. Please be allowed. I want exact. What is the meaning of judicial review, judicial activism, judicial restraints? These three words that you might have come across in chapter of judiciary. Tell me, judicial review. Rashmita? Arvind? Be clear, Monica. Arey Baba, judicial review. Tell me clearly with example. Monica? When one individual speaker choices under judicial review, Tell me, Madhav. Tell me, Madhav. Cheppandi. Come on, you have to say. So what is judicial activism? Okay. Whenever judiciary is taking more amount of cases under suo motu, it is called as judicial activism. What is judicial restraint? Judicial overreach or judicial restraint now? Okay, is judicial review right according to you? It's always right. Okay, so actually to maintain our constitutional integrity, we need this judicial review. So whenever you are getting any question regarding judicial review, you can write what is the significance of judicial review. If we want to maintain integrity of our constitution, so we are having one constitution, right? Every country is normally having their constitution, and our constitution is especially very special, and we are making lots of amendments based on the aspirations and the requirements and the needs of the people every time. And if there is any question regarding any amendment, we have to maintain the integrity of our constitution. We should not make our constitution value low, right? So for that, judicial review is one important organ. Okay, so like that, you have to give the example regarding judicial review and constitutional integrity. And next one here is constitutional amendment. So whenever we are making any constitutional amendments, that will represent the dynamic nature of our society. So here day by day the needs of the people will be changing. Why the day by day the people needs are changing? because of advancements in science and technology. So whatever, if you see every day, there is some new development, new technology is coming. So because of this, whenever we are amending our constitution, it will be representing the dynamic nature of our constitution. If you are not making any amendments, can we say that as a living document? No, it will be like one more Ramayana or one more Mahabharata, like that. It will be like an epic, but it will be not like a living document. So because of this, amendment process is very, very important, because it allows for allowing societal values while maintaining the foundational principles. So we will be maintaining the basic structure. So based on that, we will be adding on our amendments so that we will be addressing the needs of the society. And next one here is, the court said that secularism had been interpreted over time, which mainly says that yes, we need to have adaptability in our governance, and we have to ensure the constitutional principles which remain relevant in a diverse society. As you all know that India is a very diverse society. We are having different kinds of religions, regions, etc. So if we have different kinds of religion, if whenever state is giving only support to one religion, is it good? No. If we want to maintain unity and diversity, we have to maintain secularism. That means we have to treat each religion equal. And next one here is, we are also focusing on welfare state. So here socialism is a concept that we are focusing on welfare rather than economic model of other countries. We are focusing on the wealth should be concentrated, or wealth should be present in the hands of government, so that government will be focusing on the welfare state. So we are giving importance for the social justice in our country, so that yes, especially in the developing nations, so whenever the private people are owning property, can we ensure the welfare of the people? No. So private people always focusing on their only profit, but not welfare state. So especially in the developing nations, we need to have this socialism concept. So because of this, these words secular and socialism, they are very much relevant to a country like our India, so that they should be present in our preamble. So this is the thing which mainly said by our Supreme Court. Clear? Okay, so you have to see about text of preamble. Everyone knows about the text of preamble, right? So see that. So we have four important things. That is, the first one is authority. The people of India is giving that. And next one is, we have principles like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So these words, they had been added later on. And next one is, we have objectives like justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. So you have to know what in this justice we have: economic justice, social justice and political justice. And in the liberty we have liberty of expression, belief, faith, worship, etc. And in the equality we have to promote everyone equally. Fraternity is nothing but brotherhood. And finally, date 26th November 1947. So these are the four important things. And you have to know about the meaning of socialist. Socialist is nothing but in a socio-economic system where there is equitable distribution of wealth, not only wealth, resources and opportunities. And why we are focusing on this socialist? Because we have to reduce economic inequalities among the citizens. Okay? And if you see the Indian brand of socialism, it is a democratic socialism, wherein both private and public sectors, they will be coexisting side by side. And secular is nothing but it is related to religion. So we are focusing on religion neutrality. That means all religions are equal. Okay, and even there is a separation of religion from affairs of state. So that is the thing that you have to remember. And see this Keshwananda Bharati case of 1973. So in this case, it is a 13 judge bench. You have to remember even this number of this Keshwananda Bharati, it is a very high. That is 13 judge bench. And it said that preamble is considered as a part of our constitution, and it is held that preamble can be amended under Article 368. What is Article 368? So if you want to amend under this Article 368, which is the majority that we required? What is the majority? Special or simple? Special majority. Okay, that should be there. And next one is 42nd Amendment Act added socialist, secular and integrity. This is very important. And you can see the exact question of 2021 prelims. What was the exact constitutional status of India on 26 January 1950? It was sovereign, democratic and republic. Okay. So option B is the correct answer. In this way you may get. Okay. And see this article. Return to action. What is this article talking about? Return to action. Huh? Okay, see this. The world must move beyond empty rhetoric on climate change. What might be talking about? COP29 highlights. So, anyone, do you know what are the highlights of this COP29 which concluded yesterday? What might be the highlights that we discussed? Okay, first one is, you know that India rejected, India dissatisfied regarding climate finance. Okay, next point. What do you know? Carbon markets finalized, right? Next. So what is the climate finance target? What they accepted? Okay, $1.3 trillion annually till 2035. Very good. Next, what they said, other things. Plastic treaty will not come under this. Okay, it is beyond this 29 COP. Next, technology. Okay, we want technology rather than finance. Okay, next. Next important points that you know. Yes, very good. New climate plans. Next. Apart from this, actually there are 5 important things that you have to remember in this COP29 and you have to add in your environment and ecology book. Okay, so this article is very important from your environment and ecology, from your GS paper 3, and especially in this mains, in 2025 mains, for sure you can expect 10 marker or 15 marker question on this COP29. So what are the highlights of this COP29? If you are getting only highlights, it will be like 10 marker. If you are getting analyze on that highlights, you will be getting question for 50 marker. So based on the type of question, what are the things they will be adding, the marks will be changing, okay? Now let us see the highlights of this. The first one is they came up with new climate finance goal. Okay, so first one is new climate finance goal. So actually it aims to triple climate finance. So earlier what is the target? That is just $100 billion, that is 1 trillion. But now it had been increased to 300 billion per year by 2035. That is normally per year it will be 1.3 trillion by 2035. So first one is the climate finance had been increased. Okay, that is to 1.3 trillion per year by 2035. And next one is carbon market agreement had been done. So finally, the finalization of this carbon market agreement had been done in this COP29. Okay, and they also centralized carbon market under United Nations. So they also came up with a centralized carbon market. So now under this agreement, here any country can trade its carbon emissions with other countries. For example, you know that India is the 3rd largest carbon dioxide emitter, right? So now India can go for trading with the country which is having less emissions. Okay, so this is second thing. And next one here is they also came up with declaration of reducing of methane. So what is methane? CH4. So over 30 countries including US, Germany, UK and UAE, they endorsed this declaration and they are focusing on reducing of methane from organic waste. And one more thing here is India not signed this. India is not signatory of this declaration on reducing methane from organic waste. And under this declaration, they want to decrease 20% of global methane emissions. And they also said that every country will be having their nationally determined contributions like NDCs, right? So in that NDCs, if any country is signatory, so in that NDCs also they have to include this decreasing of global methane emissions should be a point. But India is not signatory, you have to remember that. And next one here is indigenous people and local communities. So for the first time in this COP29, they also gave importance for the indigenous or local communities or the local people. Because if they want to address this problem of climate change, we need to give importance for this local people, because they know clearly what is happening, what is change happening. So how can they mitigate that? Okay, and next one here is they came up with Baku work plan. It is also very important. Baku work plan. So in this Baku work plan, they gave importance to this indigenous people. Okay, and under this work plan, they will be focusing on indigenous knowledge. That means the knowledge which is there with the local communities with modern science. And even they will be enhancing the community participation in climate dialogues. Okay, that is about the Baku work plan. And next one here is gender and climate change. Even in this COP29, they came up with Lima work programs on gender, LIMA, Lima work program on gender for another 10 years. And in this work plan, they are focusing on gender equality in climate action. And they want to come up with a new gender action plan. Okay, and this new gender action plan will be adopted in the next COP, that is in COP 30. Okay, so COP that is going to happen in Belém in Brazil. Okay, next COP 30, they are going to adopt this new gender action plan. So actually this Lima program on this gender came up in year 2014, and actually they want to focus on gender balance and integrate gender considerations, because whenever we are seeing any climate change, or else, for example, because of climate change, a lot of disasters will be happening. So in these disasters, especially women and children are more vulnerable. So because of this, if you are taking any policy regarding climate policy or climate change, so we have to come up with a gender responsive thing. So that is the thing they mainly came up in year 2014, that is called as Lima work program on gender, and they are going to come up with this gender action plan in COP 2030. And last one here is they also focusing on Baku Harmonia climate initiative for farmers, last one. So because of climate change, it is having impact obviously on farming and farming culture, or like agriculture. So people who are dependent on this primary sector. So because of this, they came up with this Baku Harmonia initiative of farmer with a partnership with FAO. It is very important. Okay, so this initiative, it is along with the partnership of FAO, and they are focusing on especially field of food and agriculture and supporting of farmers to access finance. Okay, so these are the 5 important things that you have to remember. And see this article. The Constitution still thrives. Let it show India the way. So what is this talking about? The Constitution still thrives. Let it show India the way. That means it is talking about something loopholes are there in our Constitution. So can you tell me, like, you have done with the Constitution, you studied your polity, right? So now tell me, what are the loopholes that you find according to you in our Constitution? You are like adults, you are major. So if anyone saying something, you will be not blindly listening to that. You will be also having your own perspectives, right? So tell me your own perspectives regarding our Constitution, whether our Constitution is efficient or not, whether there are any loopholes. Come on, tell me. You have to improve your thinking. You have to think out of box. Not only there in the book knowledge is not enough. Now tell me, what are the loopholes are there in our Constitution? Okay, no one knows about what is basic structure. Next. Okay, general public is not understanding the language of Constitution. We have to simplify that. Okay, next. Hmm. Hmm. No elaborate discussion on what is legislature, what is executive. Okay, accepted. Next. Because of that, criminalization of politics is happening. So there is no elaborate discussions on what is required now. Okay, so because of that, lot of things which are happening. Okay, very good. Next. Okay, what you are saying exactly? Power is given to legislature so that sometimes the bill passing is delayed. Okay, Nari Shakti bill, that is about reservation of women in Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies. Okay, next. Uh, mm. We have judiciary to say whether it is right or not. That is called as judicial review. Mm. Can you give me one example for that? Yes, I accept, but I want example. Example, money. You are right, but tell me example. Ah. Mm. Okay. Yeah, example is 42nd and 44th. Very good. Next. Mm. Okay, so actually deciding of a bill, whether a money bill or financial bill is in the hand of speaker, so sometimes it is misused. Very good. Next. What about anti-defection law? I thought of saying this. Tell me, what is anti-defection law? Again, our constitution is not saying about what exactly the time limit to be decided by the speaker. Again, it is causing some disturbances. Next. Uh, uh, mm. Criminalization of politics. Okay, we have to give the conscious status for this ADR so that we can address this problem of criminalization of politics. Next, very good. Mm. Example. Reservation. They are not changing reservation. Oh, I can't talk about this reservation here. Very sensitive topic. Next. Okay. Yeah. Actually, the main question also on that topic, like they are doing only audit, but they are not talking about legitimacy, whether we have to implement that or not. Okay. Mm. Okay, there is no control over audit. Mm. Okay, next. Next, Krishna, can you tell me any loopholes in our constitution that you find? Have you ever thought that we have to change this provision in our constitution? Do you got this kind of idea? So tell me which thing can be changed so that we can ensure welfare state. You should not change. Next. What do you want to change in constitution? Think. That is the thing which is saying in this article by Shashi Tharoor. Okay. So what are the principles of our preamble? Justice. So in that justice, you're talking about economic justice, political justice, and social justice. Is our constitution ensuring all? Economic justice, social justice, Yeah, DPSP is there, it is giving directives. But whether any law which is made by our government or legislature, will it is taking into that consideration? Yes. Then what you have to do as a bureaucrat? What is your role, guys? Keeping silent on everything? Will you be silent? Then what will you do? Will you raise voice against legislature? Can you? Then what will you do then? Alternate dispute resolution. Okay. Actually, this article is very, very important, and this year we are celebrating 75th anniversary. Okay, so because of this, you may get any question regarding constitution, like constitution making and which provisions we got from which countries. So can you tell me from Australia, what are the features that we borrowed? Australia. Very good. At least tell me from Irish, what are the provisions? DBSP. Okay. So what about Australia? Which list we borrowed? 7th schedule. Concurrent list. Concurrent list we borrowed from Australia. So what are the provisions that we borrowed from France? Germany. At least tell me USA. USA. Next. UK. Japan. 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 Say this. That will be there for sure in your prelims. What? Fundamental? USSR. Okay. So let us see this article. So we are celebrating 75th anniversary of India's Constitutional Day this day. Okay, so because of this, Shashi Tharoor, he mainly says that B.R. Ambedkar warning about the need for equality, fraternity in society, which remain unfulfilled. So our B.R. Ambedkar, so he had some objectives like we have to ensure equality and we have to ensure fraternity in society. So they had remained unfulfilled even after 75 years of adoption of constitution. So this is the idea which is proposed by Shashi Tharoor in this article. Okay, now let us see 7 important points which are given in this article. The first one is 75th anniversary serves as a reminder of constitutional's foundational ideals. And this article is saying that we need to uphold those ideals. And celebrating this milestone is very essential for reflecting on our democratic journey. So what are the journey that we are doing from last 75 years? We are celebrating on this day. And here on this day, we have to remind our constitutional foundational ideals. And actually, B.R. Ambedkar, he had some insights, and especially he wants to ensure the justice in society because he belongs to which caste? Mahar. So he belongs to Dalit. So because of that, he faced lot of injustice in society. So because of this, he kept that in mind and he want to ensure justice. And as well as there are some contradictions in our society. Always there is contradiction regarding political equality and social inequality. So there is increasing of political inequality is happening and even social inequality is happening until in this 21st century also we are having caste-based discrimination. Is it right or not? Can you give me examples of caste-based discrimination which are happening in our country? Yeah, in jails also there is caste-based discrimination. Next. Manual scavenging. Next. Marriages. What marriages? Intercaste marriages. Okay, next. Honor killing. Honor killing cup panchayats. Next. Next. Examples. Even in some areas, Dalits are not allowed to enter into temples. And even midday meals program in schools, if Dalit woman, she is cooking, so higher caste people, they are not sending their children to school, especially, right? So these are some examples that which are saying that whatever the ideals of our constitution, we are not achieved, we are not fulfilled in that ideals. So these are the examples that is happening in our society. So there are significant barriers to achieve a true democracy. So we need to have continued reforms, and as well as we need to have a proper vigilance in our society so that we can achieve the ideals of B.R. Ambedkar. And next one here is there is also a lack of unified sense of brotherhood. So there is no proper social cohesion, especially in urban areas. So what happening in our neighbor house, we don't know. So can we ensure this brotherhood? No. So there is lack of unified sense of brotherhood. So especially fostering of fraternity. Fraternity is crucial for realizing true potential of liberty and equality. If you ensure this liberty and equality, we have to ensure this fraternity. So this is the thing which mainly said. And next one here is we are also taking affirmative actions to promote equality. So can you tell me some examples of affirmative actions of government to ensure equality? Reservations regarding providing of scholarships and providing of reservations in education and employment, and even reservations for women in local self-governing bodies, that is in panchayats and municipalities, and even Nari Shakti bill which had been recently passed. But even though, can we ensure equality? No equality. So this is the point which is highlighted here. And next one is even there is a caste dynamics happening. So in this 2024, we are going to start our census, right? So in that census, we are going to add a column of caste. Why the caste? For socio-economic caste census. So because of this also, there is social stratification which is going to be very strong now. So again, this is one kind of discrimination that we can see here. And next one here is evolving national identity. So the journey towards a cohesive national identity is ongoing. So we have to bridge national, religious, social divides so that we can achieve ideals of Ambedkar. Okay. So here you have to see about which articles you are focusing on equality and fraternity in our constitution. How this equality and fraternity that we are not achieving in our constitution, you have to see some what is happening in our society. Okay, social issues. Okay, if you are identifying the social issues, we can give substantiation to your argument, like why we are not achieving the ideals of B.R. Ambedkar even after 75 years of adoption of constitution. Clear? Huh? What happened? Okay, so these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindi newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and if you really like this class, hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Bell icon.